Hi there, I'm Donald Farmer and I'm the Vice President of Products for QlikTech. And I'd like to talk to you today about business discovery, in particular how I think about business discovery and what it is we do that's a little bit different. I've been working in business intelligence for many years, and so I think one of the first questions people ask me is, well, what is the difference between business discovery and business intelligence? And for me, the most important thing is simply the fact that with business discovery, you discover new things, in particular things that you didn't expect. If I could show you the difference, think of a report, a typical report that you might create for your company, which shows your top 10 customers. That's a very, very common type of dashboard to build. So when I build a dashboard to show my top 10 customers, I may discover something interesting. I may discover, for example, that, oh, well, this American bank is not as important as I thought it was. Maybe it's number 12. But this French supermarket, well, maybe it's number 5, and I didn't expect that. Now, in a sense, that is a discovery. I'm finding something new. But it's not, to me, something unique. I knew I had top 10 customers. So all I'm really doing is I'm finding a new answer to an old question. And business discovery for me is a little bit different. It's about not just finding new answers, but about finding new questions. Let me give you an example. The first customer I spoke to when I joined QlikTech was a doctor. And he had built a little dashboard. And this is important, I suppose, in two ways. One, it was the doctor who'd built the dashboard. It wasn't an administrator or a financial person or an analyst, it was just a doctor. And this dashboard analyzed the work that he was doing, the operations and procedures, and, for example, the drugs that he was prescribing. And he could look at the drugs he was prescribing for particular procedures. But with QlikView, he was also able to look into what we call the grey area, the area of drugs that he was not prescribing. And that's where he discovered interesting things, like, here's this cheap, safe drug that I'm not using. Why not? Now, in a sense, that's a discovery, because he wasn't asking that question, but he discovered that question. What are the drugs I'm not using? And that becomes very important. I can give you another example of a customer of ours who was examining their own customers after the Japanese tsunami and earthquake. And they wanted to find out how are our customers affected. So they just used QlikView search, and they searched for Japan. And what they found was Japanese suppliers. Not just Japanese customers, but Japanese suppliers. Well, that was a surprise to them. And then when they looked at the Japanese suppliers, they found that they were providing ingredients for products that were being used in Australia. And so now they looked at the Australian products and discovered they had marketing campaigns that were very expensive that needed to be cancelled. And so they started that day asking a question about Japanese customers, and they ended that day by cancelling the marketing for Australian products. And that's a discovery. They didn't set out to ask those questions. And for me, this is why business discovery is so important. It provides that way of having a new hypothesis, a new idea, not just a new answer to an existing question. Business intelligence does that all the time, but business discovery helps you to ask those new questions. Now, to do business discovery, I think you need two things. You need a technology that helps you to make those discoveries, and you need a technology that helps you to share those discoveries once you've found them. Now, the QlikView technology that we have for helping you to make discoveries, I think, is very common, very well understood to QlikView customers, but is quite unique in the business intelligence world. And we often describe it as the green, white, and grey. And green, white, and grey is the colours of our logo, but it's also the colours that we use in the application to show green is the data that you select, white is the data that's associated, and grey is the data which is not associated. In other words, that's the stuff which isn't related to the question you've just asked. And as you saw in the case of the doctor, he was able to find something very useful there. He was able to find drugs that he was not using, and that was kind of interesting to him. We also have search technology that enables you to find something anywhere in the data model without necessarily knowing what you're looking for. So again, the customer I was talking about who searched for Japanese customers actually also found Japanese suppliers, even though that wasn't what they were looking for. In a traditional BI application, they would only have looked at the customer data model. The QlikView application enables them and encourages them just to search and to find the data no matter where it is. And that leads to these new hypotheses and new discoveries. The other technology we have that I think is critical is the ability to share. And a lot of business intelligence tools have some sort of collaboration, but it's very limited. It tends to be, I can create a report, put it in a library, and other people can comment on it. And to be fair, we have that in QlikView. It's very useful. But we have a couple of other ways of sharing. My favorite one is what we call a session collaboration, which is where when I'm working in a document and I find something interesting, find something new, I make a discovery, I can invite you to join me in the document. And you don't even need a QlikView license. I just send you a URL, a little link, and you click on that link, and even without a QlikView license, just a web browser, you can join me in the document, you can click in the document, you can make your own discoveries inside the document with me. And that's a great way of sharing. It's kind of real-time sharing of the document. Another way I can do it is I can add annotations, and you can add annotations, and we can see what each other is saying about the document, and we can see the selections that we're making. So we have the discovery tools, and we have the annotation and sharing tools that I think are critical to successful business discovery. The other thing we have that I think is super useful for anyone who wants to find out new things is that we have a technology for building not just reports and dashboard, but what we call apps. And we mean an app in the sense of the Apple App Store or the kind of app stores that you get for mobile devices. These are not applications. These are not big applications. They're small, focused, very personal tools which solve very specific problems. Rather than trying to answer all your business questions, they focus on one area. And an app, in the QlikView sense, enables me to give you not just a report, not just look what I found, here's what I think you should look at. Instead, it allows me to give you a tool that you can use to make your own discoveries. You don't need to be a developer, you don't need to be an analyst, you just need to be able to search and click and browse. And you can use essentially the same skills as you use every day when you work in Google. With Google, you don't need to know a query language. You simply enter the search terms, you get the answers, and you get the answers so quickly, and you get so much useful information with the answer that you can easily browse for your discoveries. In the same way with QlikView, it's not querying, it's browsing. And that enables me to give any user, without them being a developer, without them being an analyst, without them being a specialist, I can give any user the ability to make their own discoveries. And so we're not a tool for the specialist, we're not a tool for the analyst, we're not a tool for the visualizer, although all of these people can use us. We're really a tool for every user in your business. I hear from analysts like Gartner that business intelligence has only reached 28% of business users. That's not enough. That means that 72% don't have access to decision-making tools. With business discovery and with the technologies that we have for finding and sharing new hypotheses, we can really get to 72% of business users who today don't have access to those tools. So that's what excites me about business discovery and why I think it's different. It's not business intelligence. It can get to more users more effectively with more insights than business intelligence ever could. And I hope you'll have a lot of fun exploring QlikView and QlikView Business Discovery. Thank you very much.